Good morning, everyone, and welcome to your Miracle Mindset Monday for this week. So remember, with the Miracle Mindset Monday, this is an overall general reading for the week. There are no personalized readings. If you are interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset or your own personalized reading, then you can go over to my website and look on the book online section and see what each reading and each service that I offer entails. There's a detailed synopsis of each of those services. So for today, this week is really about us diving into rest. Now, I don't mean laying down or taking a nap. I mean, those may be things that you can do to rest, but I'm talking about resting in the divine. That's where this rest is really coming from. This rest, this trust that we are diving into. It is all about us really diving in to that divine essence that permeates each and every one of us, that lies within each and every one of our own hearts. That's where this energy of rest in the divine, renew your peace, really comes in. And we have to trust that everything is going to be divinely guided, that everything is going to work out for our best and highest good. So for this week, what I've done is I've gotten the Mystical Wisdom deck, and then I've also gotten the Nature's Whisper deck and the Oracle of the Angels. So our overall message is about resting in the divine. Our overall message is about trusting that we will be divinely directed and divinely protected in all that we do. So now let's go to the Mystical Wisdom deck and let's see what messages the Mystical Wisdom deck has for us today. Oh, goodness. Okay, so we have one. Let's see. And we have number 2. Ooh. And number 3. All right, so our cards for this week. Our first one is take a step towards positive change. So this is really asking us, as we are in this restful period, as we ask for that guidance, as we ask, that's so key. We have to ask. And as we ask, we're putting down the sword. We're putting down our belief that we have to do it all on our own, that it's all up to us, that the weight of the world is on our shoulders and our shoulders alone. We're taking that burden off. Remember, our very first overall message for this week is rest in the divine. So we're resting in the divine. We're asking for that guidance. And, this isn't so much about making just, I'm going to change this or I'm going to shift to more positive thinking. This is really asking you first to take a mental movement. So for me, I like to break it down in these steps. First, it's a mental movement. From a mental movement, it's an emotional movement. From an emotional movement, it is a physical movement. So the mental movement may be, okay, I do need to look at this situation in a new way. That's the mental movement. Then we move to the emotional movement. So I'm willing to look at this situation in a new way. So as I'm willing to do that, what emotion can I move to? Maybe you're feeling sad. Maybe you're feeling unhappy. And that's okay. No one says that you can't feel that way. But realize that that feeling is not going to change unless you take that emotional movement. Unless you're like, okay, I felt it, I've processed it, I've acknowledged it. Now I'm releasing it and I'm moving on to a new emotion. As we move on to that new emotion, we have the dragonfly. So we're all about transformation. And this says, live life to the fullest. How absolutely beautiful. So we have, okay, we're resting in God. As we rest in God, we're asking for that guidance. As we ask for that guidance, we could say that life begins to unfold. And instead of us seeing life unfolding as, just basically one circumstance to another, we're seeing it unfold as one situation that adds to our growth. One situation, again and again, just unfolding, allowing us to see that truth, which then leads us to our spiritual growth. It leads us to that enlightenment because we're not focused so much on, we could say, the challenge. We're focused more as this is an opportunity to grow. And once again, where does that come from? It doesn't come necessarily from you. What it does come is from you resting in the divine, asking what is it that you would have me do, then doing what the divine would have you do, which then leads you to see exactly where you need to be, divinely directed and divinely protected. Trust. And believe you me, I know that sometimes when we are in the crux of transformation, we're in the crux of change, it is really, really different to trust in something you cannot see all the time, something you may not hear all the time, but we must begin to rest in that, in the knowledge that we are going to be taken care of, that it is going to be okay. You don't have to know how it's going to be okay. You don't have to know when it's going to be okay. But just have that knowledge that it is going to be okay. Because the divine has created us to be happy. And if we're not happy right now, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up. Don't demean yourself. Don't think you're a failure. It simply means that, okay, I'm not feeling happy right now. What is the mental movement that I need to make? And don't make that decision on your own. Like that first card, it says battling the blues. It's not about battling. It's about recognizing and looking at it and then making those mental movements, those emotional movements, and then those physical movements. So that way you are already setting a firm foundation. Now, why do we do mental first? Mental, that's where everything happens. It happens up here first. Then we see it in the physical. So that's why I always say, do that mental movement first. Make that your foundation. From there, you move to that emotional. Then from there, you move to that physical. So those are our 3 cards from the Mystical Wisdom deck. And I'm really just being guided to remind everyone, we are meant to be happy. If you're not happy, like I said, it's okay. It's fine that you're not happy right now. But be willing to see the circumstances of your life differently. Be willing to see yourself differently. So now let's go to the Nature's Whisper deck. And let's see what beautiful cards come out for the Nature's Whisper deck. I can't make this up, guys, even if I tried. So this says, shift your energy. Once again, shifting your energy doesn't necessarily mean you just sitting there and meditating. Shifting your energy means shifting your thought, because that is what energy is. Your thoughts are energy. And if they are right now in a negative point of view, once again, I'm not saying that you can't be, but realize that you have to shift your energy if you wish to see something different. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay. You're in a bad mood. It's fine. No one is here to tell you that, you're you're terrible, you're awful, or anything like that. What we are here to do is say, okay, is that serving you? Is that really helping you? So now let's go ahead and let's go to the next card for this week. And here it is, absolutely beautiful. Once again, pause, rest in the divine, rest in that presence. As you rest, catch your breath. Catch your breath. Once again, okay. What that breath really does is it allows us to say, this is how I'm feeling. This is why I'm feeling that way. Okay, I have now taken that breath. I've acknowledged it. Okay, now let me process through this. Okay, processed it. I've thought about it. I've considered it. And now I'm like, okay, I'm done with it. I release it. And we have to be true to our own hearts. We have to be true to that message within our hearts. And that simply just means, once again, to be honest with yourself on how you're feeling. Okay, I'm not feeling supported. Okay, great. Totally fine. What is the mental action step that you could take to begin to feel supported? From there, what is the emotional? And then what is the physical? What can we do with those steps to begin to feel empowered, instead of disempowered? You're worth this effort. I know that it seems like it is so much work, that the spiritual journey is just, oh my God, it's ups, it's downs, it's lefts, it's right, it's up, it's down. All the spiritual journey is to assist you in helping to remove all of your blocks that you have placed to love. That's it. It's nothing more than that, and you are so worth it. You're so worth doing that work for yourself. I know it's not always the funnest thing to do. I know it's not always the most comfortable thing to do, but it is a wonderful thing to do for yourself. And, clear out that old stuff. Don't allow the past to keep you stuck. Maybe you tried to do this work before and it didn't work. That's okay. There are hundreds of thousands, and I'm sure even more people that can help you with this work, like myself, like my clients. They're there to assist you with doing this work, so that way you have a guide. Now, the way that I teach my students, I don't teach them to do the work for you. I teach them to empower you to do the work for yourself. Now, we're there as guides, we're there as guideposts, but that is all that we are there for, and that's all that we can do. We can lead you to that door, but we cannot make you walk through it. That is your choice that you must make. And once again, coming back to our main message of this week, we rest in the divine knowledge. We rest in divine trust that it's going to be taken care of, and that it's not necessarily up to us to figure it all out. There's that saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I like to switch that around and say, when the student is ready, the teaching appears. Now, that may be a situation in life. That may be, maybe you find a mentor, maybe you find a spiritual teacher that you just love and you resonate with, and you begin to do that practice. But it is just about practice, 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 practice. Okay? So then we're going to go to our last card deck for this week, which is the Oracle of the Angels. And once again, if you are interested in your own personalized miracle mindset that comes to your inbox every week in an email, then you are free to go visit my website, which is awakeningmiracles.org. Just beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so our card is number 12. Never alone. I mean, can't make this up, even if we tried, guys. So, number 12. I draw on the vast reservoir of inner strength that keeps me moving forward. I have faith that all things will fall into divine order for my greatest benefit. I ask the universe for its guidance and always receive its help and protection. The sun will rise and shine on me. How absolutely beautiful, just a beautiful ending to this reading. So let's do a quick little review for this week. Our first set of cards came from the Mystical Wisdom deck. Our first one was Battle the Blues. Take steps towards positive change. Remember, taking a step towards positive change. What is that mental step that we can take? From that mental step, what is the emotional step? Remember, an emotional step just means, okay, maybe I'm feeling a lot of frustration. Where do I go from frustration? What's the next step up? Not step down, going into self-hatred, but okay, I'm frustrated. What's a step up after I have acknowledged the feeling, processed the feeling, and then from that process, released it? Then, okay, what's the next step for me? Then from there, we take that physical step. What's the physical action step that we can take? Then, as we begin to do that, as we begin to rest, and remember, it's not up to you to figure it all out. Your job, okay, this is how I'm feeling. I don't know what changes I need to make. I don't know how to change. Spirit, please show me how. Show me how to be happy. Teach me how to be happy. Teach me how to be joyful. And then that's when the adventure begins. That's when the transformation begins. When you begin to invite in spirit and allow it to do its job, which is to help you remember the truth of who you are, which then can lead to that enlightenment, to that spiritual growth. From that spiritual growth, we now move over to the Mystical Wisdom deck. And from the Mystical Wisdom deck, our first card was shift your energy, shift your thoughts. As we shift our thoughts, we have to be gentle with ourselves. As we're gentle with ourselves, that means it's okay to pause. It's okay to rest in that divine. It's okay to take that, to catch your breath so you can actually see what you're feeling. As you do that, as you're catching your breath, it allows you to really get honest with yourself. As you get honest with yourself, you become more empowered. As you become more empowered, you know that you are worth it. And as you know that you are worth it, you're more willing to let go of the past. And then as you let go of that past, as you step into this journey, from the Oracle of the Angels, we have that we are never alone. That spirit is always there, guiding us, moving us, if we invite it. And I cannot stress that enough. We have to invite spirit in to help us, to assist us. So once again, if you are interested in your own personalized Miracle Mindset Monday, which is personalized messages just for you, then please feel free to visit my website, awakeningmiracles.org. Otherwise, I thank you so much for joining me. I thank you so much for being here, and I send you all of my love.